taking out roaches. However, if these were microed properly, he would have kept burrowing and unburrowing those roaches. But he didn't do that. So, hey, there's a changeling or two. I don't know if they can actually attack, to be honest. I don't remember. No, they have no attack, so they're purely scouting units. But look at this. Incontrol already taking out the expansion, forcing all the drones to burrow, and doing a lot of damage. And I would ask if he could end it here, but we still haven't covered the replay section, so we know that's not going to happen. But seriously hurting both the economy and taking out the entire army of Cowsrule. So Incontrol in a great position here, now warping in that Nexus at the expansion, and going to be able to really bolster his economy. And I haven't even been using the hotkeys yet because we've been talking about the Zerg race so much. But if we look at income, oh no! 0 income, trying to restart that expansion. The Zerg player Cowsrule in a whole bunch of trouble. Incontrol at 800 income. Army-wise, we can see that Incontrol spent less, and at the same time, if we were to look at units lost, he's lost a crap ton less than Cowsrule at this point. So, in control, yes! Been waiting to say that. Oh, wait, there's another one. Incontrol is out of control. I know, I love my puns. Excuse me, I can't help it. Anyway, Cowsrule trying to do what he can at this point. Clearly, he's so far behind that he's got to do some sort of economic harassment to Incontrol. But really, with the amount of not warp gates, but photon cannons out at this point, he's not really going to be able to do that much, especially with the Stalkers and the Archon. I mean, this is literally the only weak spot right now of defense in Control's entire base. And those collectively are not going to get too many probe kills. It looks like they will get a few, but they're taking some damage already. He's losing a couple to that cannon, which has got pretty good range. And so really, I mean, yeah, he did some damage, but Incontrol's got such a huge advantage. And before I miss it, it looks like Incontrol already going back for another attack. He's just going to try to end it here, it looks like, going in with Archon and Stalker. That's a very interesting unit combination. It's going to be very good against these Mutad, especially because that Archon with the splash is going to do a lot of damage. Stalkers, again, they don't do all that much damage because I don't think Mutacount is, they're not armored units. So they only do the 9 damage, not the +7 bonus. So basically, the Mutaling is going to be very effective against this Stalker unit combination or unit force because there's no combination anymore since he lost his Archon to it. But at this point, it doesn't matter because, frankly, he doesn't have enough units to really deal with this. And, Incontrol, going to leave that hatchery with 20 hit points to go. And he's going to back off. So, Cowsrule saving that hatchery somehow by the skin of his teeth. But really, it's not looking good. Again, look at the income. He's caught up quite a bit, but still, Incontrol's got that back up and running. He's got another cannon down, which should defend this area pretty well, although I'd like to see it back here. My dogs are barking at me. I don't really know why. Shut up, Rocco. And at this point, Cowsrule just in a very tough situation to try to come back from. Starcraft 2, I got to say, is not very forgiving in coming back from battles, especially if you're Zerg. I mean, because you don't seem to have that unit production capacity where you could speed up the unit production. I mean, yeah, you have spawn larva, but if you lose a hatchery, you've taken out basically 7 larvae every 40 seconds or whatever. I don't know what the normal rate of larva regeneration is, but it's quite a bit of larva that you just can't spend on units. So Incontrol, again, he's not lost anything with the exception of a few probes. I would say the only thing that is lacking here is saturation at his main, which still has enough minerals where he shouldn't have sent them all to his expansion. But overall, I mean, this is still early in the beta. This is actually a couple of weeks old, this replay, but because of the units used and things and the strategies used, I'd say that it's still fairly current, although in I would say modern day, which would be like 2 weeks later than when this was played, you'll see a lot more Roach play from Zerg users, as well as a lot more Colossus and Immortal usage from Protoss players. But Incontrol doing a great job of showcasing that, hey, there's not just one build, and scouting out to see if he's got a base at the 9 o'clock position. It looks like Cowsrule just can't afford it. He's spending all of his money on units at this point. and then some. He doesn't even have enough money to spend all on units. So looks like Incontrol's probably going to win this game with this last push. Got some High Templar out on the field at this point. Not quite enough for Psionic Storm. Might get it very shortly. I don't even know if it's researched at this point. If I were to go to the production tab, it looks like he's researching it right now. It'd be cool if you could mouse over it and it showed you the rate at which or how much of this has been researched so far. So because still, if you want to find that out, you have to go all the way back to the building at which you're looking at. Here's the Changeling running by. It looks like, it does have some positive effects in scouting, but again, I mean, really, he's going to see what's going on. Incontrol didn't kill it, but it doesn't matter. I mean, he's just going to find out that he's screwed at this point. Only one Overseer out on the field. I mean, Incontrol would have had options to do things like Warp Prism, DTs. There's a whole bunch of different strategies he could have done. And Storm, now that it's researched, he's pushing in, takes out that hatchery in like one whopping hit. That Queen's going to go down, and Cowsrule's got nothing at this point. Again, Storm going off on these units. You can see the diameter of Storm, not as big as a traditional Storm from Starcraft 1. Creep Tumor, I forgot to show you that, but hey, we'll just have to see that in the next Starcraft 2 game that I do. Basically, it's like a creep colony, except you can't morph it into a sunken or anything. Its job is purely to spread creep, and Cowsrule at this point trying to defend this off, trying to do some hit and runs, but this is way too powerful of a force. If we go back to the army, we got 108 to 70, not a good position to be. I hit the pause button. Sorry, I meant to go to 8 p.m. just to see what these guys are at. And yeah, louder, Incontrol in a great position here at this point, and gonna take this game very, very. What's the word I'm looking for? Convincingly going to take it. Cowsrule leaving the game. No GG. This is a public louder game. So louder game. Public ladder game. Jeez, I told you I was going to get tongue-tied on that at least once. I'd like to point out that Incontrol was getting another base at the high yield, so this game was as good as over, even if it was defended again. I didn't even see Cowsrule. When did he get that? Let's go back for a second. It looks like, wow, he got that as early as, geez, he was getting that 4 minutes ago. I can't believe I missed that. I apologize. He was going to get a high yield up. I mean, you know what? That's probably how he was as close to louder. Man, I'm getting annoyed at myself saying that. Close to Incontrol. You know why? Because I watched so many games of louder playing Protoss. I seriously, that's just it. But yeah, he did a pretty good job of catching up in income at about the 20-minute mark. I remember calling it out. Yeah, and oh well, he doesn't even have this up yet. I guess that's just because he's got this. No. He's just got a really good saturation here. So it's the interesting thing about StarCraft 2 is you see the benefit of having a expansion versus no expansion, or good saturation versus poor saturation at two bases, which honestly is kind of similar to StarCraft 1. But this high yield was going to get him back in the game if Louder didn't attack as soon as he did. But Louder again just... I can't even believe this. I may even cut that part out. I apologize to Incontrol for saying that. That is so freaking annoying. But Incontrol, you know why? Because once I started saying it, it was like in my head, and I've psyched myself out in my commentaries. But at this point, Incontrol he had such a convincingly large force that there was no way that the Zerg player Cowsrule could come back in this. And Incontrol gonna win this. Obviously, we saw it already. Great job to him. GG, and you know what? We'll do some more Zerg games. It didn't actually lag me all that much, so I hope you guys enjoyed that game. Sorry again to Incontrol for messing up his name with Louder somehow. You know, they are both on Team EG. Give me that much. They are both playing Protoss, but I am going to have to improve on that because that's just not cool. Anyway, GG's. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next replay commentary.